everyone, it's Nezzle. Welcome back to my channel Nezzle and to another Nezzle Talks Tuesday video. In today's video, I am going to be talking to you about self-esteem. A few weeks ago, I spoke about self-confidence and several persons asked me to do the part 2 that I asked about in that video, which is self-esteem. So in today's video, I'm going to define self-esteem and also give you some tips that you can use to boost your self-esteem. So if that's something that interests you, then please keep watching. And of course, like this video if you enjoy it. Leave a comment letting me know your thoughts on it and subscribe so that you can join the Nezzle fam. I post these videos every Tuesday at 2 p.m. and on Fridays I post vlogs. Plus, make sure you have notifications turned on because I also post bonuses. So you never know when I might send out an extra video. So turn on your post notifications so you're notified every time I post. Now without further ado, let's get into today's video. So we're going to begin by defining self-esteem. Many people tend to get self-esteem confused with other similar things such as self-confidence, which we spoke about before. However, whereas self-confidence has to do with your belief in your ability to do something, self-esteem has to do with your value judgment on yourself. So what do you think about yourself? How much do you think you are worth? And so self-esteem is way more all-encompassing than self-confidence. You can lack self-confidence in one area of your life, yet have an extremely high self-esteem. However, if you have a low self-esteem, that often will mean that you just do not see value in you. Because of that, it can lead you to settle for things that you wouldn't settle for if you had a higher self-esteem, and it can also lead to a reduced quality of life. So it is very important that you know your own value. You cannot expect someone to value you highly if you do not value yourself highly. Let's imagine for a second that you are a precious diamond. You are worth millions of dollars. However, you don't know your value. And so you allow yourself to be sold for just $1,000 or a couple $1,000s. Then you're selling yourself short. How many of you would not jump at the opportunity of buying $1 million value diamond at only a couple $1,000s? Or better yet, maybe even a few $100s. But while you will come off as the person who is buying that diamond, the diamond itself is being severely undervalued. And in this situation, when it comes to self-esteem, if you are not valuing yourself enough, then you are selling yourself short. People will treat you the way that you allow them to treat you. And if you think that you are valueless, then you will accept treatment that confirms that thought. So essentially, you will let people talk to you the way they want and treat you any what way because you do not value yourself. But if you know your value, then you're not going to just accept any old thing that people come offering you. So the whole point of this video is to give you some tips that will help you to increase your self-esteem, to increase the value that you place on yourself. If you had to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, it should be on the higher part of that scale. You don't need to be cocky, but you should be confident in your value. You should be able to know that you are worthwhile. And so if you were asked to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 and you're rating yourself at a low number, below 5, even maybe below 6, 7, then that means that your self-esteem needs some work. So my first tip for you today is to think positively. And I know that this one may sound simple, you hear it everywhere. People say think positively, they say you can manifest things into being, they say speak it into being, all of those things. But while I'm not saying that, I am saying that positive thoughts influence how we feel. It is so easy for negative thoughts to drown out our other thoughts and to be consumed with thoughts like I'm not worth it, I'm not valuable, I'm not good enough, no one likes me, no one cares. However, if you allow thoughts like that to dominate, then you will continue to feel that way about yourself. And not only will you speak those things to yourself, you will accept it when people speak those things over you or when people treat you in ways that tell you that that's what they think of you. However, when you start thinking positively, telling yourself positive things, just replacing the negative thoughts with positive thoughts, you see things changing. So imagine you have a thought and you think, I am worthless. You stop yourself and you say, wait, no, I'm not worthless. I have worth. I have value. Or you think about something and you say, oh, I'm stupid. You stop yourself and you say, I'm not stupid. I may not be good at this particular thing, but I'm not stupid. So thinking along those lines can really help you to change the way that you feel about yourself. You get rid of the lies that you're telling yourself or the lies that people tell you, and you replace them with the truth. Because you are valuable, you are worth it, regardless of if you think so or not. You are created with a purpose. The fact that you are here on this earth is because you have purpose. For you to think that somehow, because of whatever reason, whether it be things that were done to you in your past, things that you have done to yourself or allowed to happen that you believe make you less valuable now, your value has not changed. So many times I have seen them do the example of like the money, where they may take a $20 bill or a $100 bill and they ask you if you want it. And of course, in the beginning, you want that $100 bill. But then they take the $100 bill and they spit on it, or they crumple it up and they mash it. They may even fart on it, whatever they choose to do. But if they offer you that $100 bill after they do all those things to it, you still want it. Why? Because the value of the $100 bill has not changed. And the same is true for you. Regardless of what you've been through, regardless of what you have done, regardless of the mistakes you have made, the things you have accepted, you are still valuable. So when you have those moments where you're thinking negatively and you're just like, I'm nothing, remind yourself that you are someone and that there's so much that you have to offer. So think positive and then speak positive over yourself. So don't stop at just thinking positively. Speak it aloud. So instead of just thinking I'm worthwhile and I have value, say it. Say to yourself, I am worthwhile. I have value. I am beautiful. I am precious. Say it. Don't just think it. There's power in the tongue, so say it. Go in front of a mirror, look at yourself, and speak positive things over yourself. Look for things in yourself that you find positive. Some people, they look at themselves and they see nothing that is attractive. They tell you that they don't like anything about themselves. They don't like their face, they don't like anything. But my challenge to you is to look in the mirror and find your favorite attribute and remind yourself of why it's your favorite. And if you really look at yourself and you can't think of anything that you like, then choose the area that you're most tolerable of and start there. My next tip to improve your self-esteem is to surround yourself with positive people, positive influences. There's a saying that those who assemble resemble. That is very true. The people that you surround yourselves with often tend to rub off on you. So if you're constantly around people who are negative, who are always complaining, you will find yourself acting that way too. As opposed to if you surround yourself with positive people who affirm you and who remind you of your worth as well. It shouldn't be a case where you need them to validate you, but you shouldn't be around people who constantly point out your flaws and never point out your strengths. I'm not saying that your friends should not give you constructive criticism, because that is important. In order to grow, you need to know where you're lacking so that you can be better. But if all they have to say is negative things, then you need to extract yourself from that situation, because constantly being around negative people and in negative situations is only going to make you a negative person yourself. So surround yourself with positive people who will help you to grow. My next tip is to stop comparing yourself. This is something I think that we hear all the time. But honestly, comparison is the thief of joy. You can be there feeling so good about yourself because you accomplished something, and then you take a moment to see what someone else did and you realize they did it better, and all of a sudden you start second guessing what you were just so confident about. And nothing has changed except that you have now made a comparison. By comparing yourselves to other people and allowing what they do to affect how you judge what you did or to affect how you judge yourself, never has a positive outcome. Even if you think you did better, it isn't positive, because you shouldn't be trying to be better than other persons. You should be trying to be your best, whatever your best is. If your best happens to be the best, then awesome. But you don't need to be comparing yourself to other people and always trying to beat people and always trying to be the best. If you're a competitive athlete, then okay. But if it's just in your everyday life that you feel like you always have to be better than other people, then that is a serious character flaw that you need to address. Focus on just being the best you that you can be. Don't compare yourself to other people, because you're not the same as them. Every person is different. We're born with different gifts and different abilities. And so what you may be able to do, I may never be able to do, and vice versa. So you may be excellent at something and I may struggle to even figure out where to start. But that doesn't mean that you are better than me or that I am better than you. It simply means that we're different. So accept that people are different, that you are unique, and just build on the things that make you unique and be thankful for what you've been blessed with. You don't have to be somebody else. You don't have to do what someone else does. If they succeed, then celebrate with them and you work on succeeding in your area. Because someone else doesn't have to fail for you to succeed. And just because someone else succeeds doesn't mean that you have failed. It just means that you haven't gotten to your success point yet. But if you continue on your trajectory, if you continue working, you will get there. So don't give up and don't compare. My next tip is to learn to say no. Oftentimes, people who have a low self-esteem feel like they cannot say no to people because they want to fit in, they want to be accepted, they want to be liked. But saying yes to everything just burns you out, and it doesn't mean that you're liked. It just means that people can take advantage of you. And what it does is sometimes it actually lowers your self-esteem further. Because then you find yourself in a situation where you're like, this person didn't actually want me around. They just wanted what I could do for them. Or this person doesn't actually care. So don't say yes to everything that you're asked to do. If you can help and you want to help, then awesome. But you don't always have to say yes. You don't have to always be accepted. If everyone likes you, I say this all the time, if everyone likes you, then you're doing something wrong. Because everyone will never like you. Even Jesus Christ was not liked by everyone. And he's the Son of God. So who are you or who am I to expect everyone to like me? It's just not going to happen. So if you know that you don't want to do something, say no. Clear space for the things in your life that you actually want to do. And do those things. Focus on enjoying those things. And you will feel so much more self-worth because you know that the things that you're doing are the things that you actually want to do. And you're not doing it to please anyone. You're not doing it to be somebody's friend. Because if you have to do stuff to be someone's friend, then that's not a friend. That's someone who's taking advantage of you. I'm not saying don't show up for your friends, but I'm saying that don't feel like you have to do something that you do not want to do just to keep a friend. And another thing that you can do to boost your self-esteem is to get physically active. Simply moving our bodies can help to improve our mood. It results in an endorphin boost, and that helps us to feel better about ourselves. And when we feel better about ourselves, then we will value ourselves more. And there are added benefits to being physically fit. Of course, you look younger, you feel stronger, and you look better generally. Unless you're working yourself into the ground and you're just overdoing it, being physically fit has positive benefits for your appearance as well. So you get a boost in your self-confidence as well as your self-esteem, because you're boosting your mood, you're feeling better about yourself, and so your value of yourself often increases as well. Now, there are lots of things that you can do to build your self-esteem, and the ones that I'm sharing here are just a few. I'm going to leave you with one more, but there's so many more, so be sure to comment in the comment section anything that you think can be done to build self-esteem, or anything that you have personally done in your life to build self-esteem. But the last thing that I want to encourage you to do is to make a list of your positive attributes. What are things that you know that you are good at? What are things that you know bring value to you? And why I say make a list, in addition to the earlier things that I said, like speaking it to yourself or speaking in front of a mirror, having a list can be really helpful on the days when you just can't get yourself to go and stand in front of a mirror and tell yourself you're beautiful. I mean, some days you just don't feel like it. But if you have that list that you can go back to and you can look at it and you remember that you wrote those words, you wrote that you're beautiful, you wrote that you're talented, that you have worth, that you are valuable, that you are someone special. So even on that day when maybe someone cursed you out and told you that you're nothing, or maybe something happened to you at work or at school or wherever you were and you were made to feel like you were valueless, you can look at that list and remind yourself that you have value, that you have worth. And another thing that I can encourage with that list is to even go into the Word of God and look for areas where He describes you as His children and the worth that He has placed on you as well. As a believer, that is something that I know I have done in the past to help build my self-esteem. If you're a believer, you can definitely try that and see. But even if you're not, just making a list of the things that you personally value in yourself can go a long way towards increasing your self-esteem. The goal is to get you to a point where you think highly of yourself, where you can increase your rating of yourself. If someone says, hey, how much do you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10? You're not there saying, maybe a 2. No. You're like, oh, I'm a 10, man. Or I'm a 9. And there's nothing wrong with being maybe an 8 or a 9, because maybe you recognize that there's room for improvement in maybe your attitude, in your behavior. But it shouldn't be a case where you're just like, you know what, I'm worthless. No one would care if I live or die. I'll just let people treat me anyway. I'll let people do with me as they please, talk to me as they please. No, that is not where you want to be. If you're there now, you don't have to stay there. A lot of people are there, so you don't have to feel ashamed for being there, for not liking yourself, for feeling like your mistakes have made you who you are. You are not defined by your past. No matter what you did in the past, that is not who you are now, and it's not who you will be in the future if you decide that it's not. It only remains that way if you choose to let it be that way. So I hope that this video motivates you. I hope that it helps you and reminds you of your value. If you're watching this video, please know that you're valuable. You're a diamond, man. You're a diamond. So don't sell yourself short. If you're worth $1 million, if you're worth 10 gazillion dollars, don't let anybody come up to you and offer you chump change. Send them going, because you know your worth. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. I like making these videos because I get a chance to talk to you guys and show you a different side of myself, aside from the vlogs, which I do on Fridays. So if you enjoyed this video, please thumbs it up so that I will know that you like it. Leave a comment. Let's chat in the comment section, whether it is that you want to share a story of your own self-esteem journey, or you just want to share another tip that persons can use, or you just want to say hi, whatever it might be. Comment down below and let's get the conversation going. And of course, subscribe so you join the Nezzle fam. As I said, I post regularly on this channel, so once you subscribe, you know you're going to be in for a treat. So don't cut yourself off from that goodness, you know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.